everyone. Welcome to Mentors for IAS. This is a very special initiative in the history of UPSC civil service preparation. Here, we are trying to mentor the students. So, outside the classroom, what one has to do with respect to answer writing, with respect to strategy making, with respect to anything that is related to UPSC civil service preparation. In this, we will be running the mains mentorship program for 2024 for the students who have cleared 2024 prelims, and will be hand-holding them throughout to get the more marks or to get the highest margin above cutoff. So in that aspect, I'll be dealing with some of the very important math part related to mains. Definitely, it is nothing related to the optional of mathematics, but it is somewhere related to how one has to prepare themselves with respect to the time limit, with respect to the word limit, and with respect to the pages that have been given in the answer booklet. So generally, the students or the aspirants face this problem of like not looking into the scientific approach and the logical approach with respect to mains answer writing. So throughout their preparation, 95% of their times they will be reading, and hardly just before the mains examination they will be focusing on the answer writing part. So that is a very failing strategy, I would say, because what matters at the end of the day is the marks or the mains marks that you are getting in the mains examination. The prelims is done with respect to the cutoff, whatever that we get, above 100, below 100, it's a matter of day. It is objective question, nothing related to the answer writing or the descriptive part. But when it comes to mains, it's all about the marathon running for 9 papers, among which 7 papers are counting, and over the period of 9 days, we'll be facing this examination. So what an aspirant misses in this time is like how to convert the knowledge into marks. So all those 3 hours which you spend in the examination hall matter a lot on the day of the examination. No matter how many years you have spent for preparation, so nothing counts at the end of the day. So that is why we have to analyze the mains pattern with respect to the marks allotted for the questions and the pages given there and the time allocated for the answer booklet. So basically, I have named it as a math of mains. So basically, it is to orient you towards how many minutes you have to spend on a question, how many lines you have to write, how many words you have to write, and how many words you need to write, and how much time you need to spend, and how much you have to expect from each of the page. So I have made a chart which is a very comprehensive chart, and in one chart I am trying to accommodate everything that is related to the calculations. So basically, in UPSC examination, either it is the optional or ethics, or for the matter of GS, you will be having the questions which carry 10 marks, 15 marks, and maximum 20 marks. And when we look into the JS paper, there will be 10 questions carrying 10 marks each and 10 questions carrying 15 marks each. But the very first mistake that we do in the examination hall is we start writing from question number 1, and we want to go in that order up to the question number 20 without analyzing the risk level, without analyzing our knowledge base or our favorite areas. So generally, we end up in writing 15 or 16 questions and the time will be over. So it is as good as you are leaving 4 questions at the end. That is very good 60 marks. So for that, you need to plan. So basically, when you take any answer booklet in UPSC, you will be having 50 pages given there. 50 pages given there. So 50 pages, it is for 250 marks. So 50 pages for 250 marks. So if you divide each page, so one page that is meant for 5 marks. So except essay, for all the subjects, it holds good. Similarly, for 10 markers, you have 2 pages. For 15 markers, you have 3 pages. And 20 markers, you have 4 pages. So general mistake the people do is they start from the 10 markers and start writing the answers. Definitely, the first 15 minutes, they go in a flash. Without writing anything, you will see your watch and you will see 15 minutes have already elapsed. So the person who's starting with the first question will put all the energy into that question, the first 3 questions. By the time we see our clock, then definitely around another 30 minutes would have been gone. So first 45 minutes will be writing only 3 questions. And it is all emotional or anxiety that we put in the paper. So initially, we try to write each and everything that we know in the first 3 questions without looking at the time, without looking at the time allocated for that. So just we spend it emotionally. So that is why we should understand like how many words that we have to write every page. So if you look at the stipulation in the examination, they ask us to write 150 words for 10-mark question. And for 20 markers, they ask around 300 words. But for 15 markers, they ask around 250 words. So this is where the catch is. This is where the catch is. If you take 150 words for 10 marks, 300 words for 20 marks. So proportionately, we should write 225 words for 15 markers. But generally, UPSC gives 250 words. So in that aspect, the students tend to write more in those questions and losing all the time. So initially, first few questions, people will spend more time. And coming to 15 markers, again, the students try to spend more time in that. So overall, generally, on an average, we will be missing out around 4 to 5 questions very easily. That is around 50 to 70 marks we are going to live in the examination. That is why we should have a very clear-cut idea before entering the examination hall. So what should be the time stipulation that we have to see? So generally, if you divide 180 minutes, so this is nothing but 3 hours time, according to the marks or according to the questions, if you go, 10 marker question should be finished in 7.2 minutes, that is 7 minutes 12 seconds. So similarly, 15 markers around 11 minutes and 20 markers around 15 minutes. But if you go with a very strict sense, we take some time for understanding the question. We take some time for brainstorming it, some time for structuring it. That is why I have written the exact number of minutes that you need to spend in writing only is around 6 minutes for 10 markers, 9 minutes for 15 markers, and 12 minutes for 20 markers. So that means the rest of the time here, more than a minute, here more than a minute, and here more than 2 minutes, we are spending this in brainstorming and structuring our answer. So we have to make a blueprint of our answer somewhere in the rough page or in the question paper itself with pencil. We have to make a sketch of our answer, what we are going to write in the answer, especially in the body part. Introduction, conclusion, on spot, you can create something and write. But when it comes to body parts, subparts, all other things, you should be able to do it. So that is why I have given that extra time here. So basically, writing part has to be finished in 6, 9, and 12 minutes respectively. So going with the word limit. So if you take 150 words, 2 pages, 225 marks, 3 pages, and 300 marks, 4 pages. So you will get around 75 words a page. So you have to write 75 words a page. In my experience, I have seen 95% of the students who don't know their writing limit at all. So they don't know how many words they put in a page. They have never counted it because we spend all our time in reading. Hardly we write and we analyze those things. So we have to understand that we have to write 75 words per page. If you are a slow writer, 60 words a page would be fine. If you are a fast writer, 80 to 90 words a page would be fine. If you have to look at your size of the handwriting, so smaller size of the letters, you will tend to write more words. Bigger size of the letters, you will tend to write less. So you have to understand how many words you are writing. So somewhere 60 to 80 words a page would be fine. And how many lines we have to use. So generally, in English medium, we tend to write 5 words a line. 5 words a line. That means we have around 15 line space. So that space has to be properly managed. It is not like you are writing only 10 lines there and winding it up, or if you are writing all these 15 lines in half a page and winding it up, it looks very shabby and it doesn't look very well organized. So that is why you have to understand that somewhere around 15 lines you have to write. Again, if you take a range, around 12 to 18 lines you have to write in the paper. So that should be very much mindful. Then how to know that, like we are writing exactly 15 lines or 18 lines? So better in GS paper. I am focusing on GS paper now. In GS paper, don't make bigger paragraphs. Don't make bigger paragraphs. So somewhere your paragraphs should be of 3 lines. Because if you write a 3 lines content, generally an evaluator will tend to give half a mark there. If you write around 6 lines para, generally that subject matter is enough for 1 mark. So similarly, you have to make smaller paragraphs of 3 lines or a bigger paragraph of 6 lines. If you go beyond 6 lines, then it is counterproductive. Even if you write 8 or 9 lines, the evaluator will give around 1 mark only. And in GS, generally we tell you have to write in a bullet format. As far as possible, try to break the question into parts and make more parts, and under each part you write more points there or sub points there. So that is what we tend to tell. Writing a bigger paragraph, let's say 3 to 4 paragraphs, entire answer, it is counterproductive. You are going to lose marks there, or for each paragraph, you will tend to get 1.5 mark there, maximum 3 or 4.5 marks you are going to get. So that is very much counterproductive, I'm telling. So finally, what is the conclusion that we are drawing? In each page, you have to write around 75 words, around 15 lines, or if you look at 3 lines paragraph, around 5 to 6 paragraph in a page. If you are writing 6 lines paragraph, then around 3 paragraphs you are writing. I am not including the intro and the conclusion here. So conclusion, it should be of 2 or 3 lines at the max, and introduction should be of 3 to 4 lines at the max. Again, in one of my videos, I will be telling you how to make your introduction perfect, and how to bring in the current affairs in the introduction, and how to conclude in a very positive manner. So that I'll be teaching. So finally, after all these things, if you look at 180 minutes, so this is 3 hours. And if you look at the marks, 250 marks. So for each page, around 5 marks content we have to write, but at the max, we will get 3 marks. And how much time that we are spending for 3 marks? So basically 1 page, maximum marks is 5 marks, but we tend to get 3 marks maximum there. And how many minutes we are spending? So if you do the calculation, you are spending around 3 minutes per page. That means in 3 minutes, you are writing around 75 words. So 3 minutes, 75 words. So if you want to make a practice without answering, if you want to just do analysis, how fast do you write? So basically your speed has to be 75 words for 3 minutes. And I'm not giving the thinking time here. I'm not adding the thinking time. Generally writing, if you are a creative writing, so within 3 minutes, you should be completing around 75 words. And all this battle, number of questions, number of marks, number of pages, how many minutes for each page and how many words in each page. All this battle is to get the marks here. Marks. So finally, our aim should be 3 marks per page. So for example, if you are writing 6 shorter paragraphs, then half a mark in each paragraph. So that will get us around 3 marks per page. If you are writing a bigger paragraphs, so 3 paragraphs there, 3 marks. So this is how we are going to get at the end. And if you are getting 3 marks, so somewhere this is the maximum that anybody can get in a page. So if you are getting 3 marks into 50 pages, so you will tend to get 150. We have seen the people in GS paper getting around 130 to 140 every year. The toppers get around 130 to 140. But on a very conservative basis, you can target around 120. So if you are not able to finish off these 50 pages, let's say you have finished only around 45 pages, and on an average you are getting around 2.5 marks. So then also you will tend to get around 112 marks. So this planning has to be done prior, even when you are writing the mock tests. So you should be aware of these things, because in the mock test, we are not exhibiting our knowledge. We are testing ourselves whether we are ready for the mains battle or not. So that is what we are targeting. So if you exhibit your knowledge, if you are more worried about how many questions you have covered, how many marks you are getting, so I think that's of no use. So you have to stick to this math. So if you want to take a snap of this, you can take a snap and stick to this one. So like this, we are covering many strategies when it comes to the mains answer writing. So under the banner of Mentors for IAS, so we will be doing the mains mentoring part for you, and we will be guiding throughout, and we'll be holding your hands with the content, with the answer flow, even the strategies one would never have been thought. So we'll be covering all these things, and we wish you all the best, and we wish you all the success in the upcoming mains, and we want to see you as an officer. All the best. Thank you very much.